Hello, hello, everybody. How are you all today? Hello, Eris. How are you? I hope you are well. I guess no preamble this time. Let's just jump right into this game. So, fun fact about me is, as a Sonic fan, I never actually uh, owned Sonic 3. I owned Sonic and Knuckles as a kid, but I never owned Sonic 3. So the first half of this is probably going to be a little bit rougher than the second half. But we shall see. I'm going to try and get all of the Chaos Emeralds. I don't know if I'll be able to get all of the Super Emeralds. But, I mean, those aren't canon anyway, so who cares, right? Anyway, without further ado, here we go. So, this game is a little bit longer than Sonic 2 is, which is why I usually don't include it whenever I go back through with, and play Sonic 1, 2, and CD. Because it's just a little bit on the longer side. Oh shit, this is a different effect. I'm already seeing some differences between this and the original versions of it. Like the like after image effect, when you get speed shoes, is already new. Blue spheres, for the longest time was my favorite special stage, until I'd say Sonic Mania, really. I liked the ones in Sonic Mania. Even if they were a little bit on the... they could be a little on the harder side. I still found them easier than Blue Spheres, and I found them easier than, like, the half-pipe to learn. So, these days, I think I can do the half-pipe a lot easier than anything... Fuck! Anything else. Well, we fucked up there. You know what? I'm not gonna take that. I'm gonna restart this whole act and do this again. Oh shit, it didn't let me do it. It's gone for good. Well, alright. I guess we gotta be a little bit more careful with that minigame. At least if we want to get the Chaos Emeralds. I'd like to get them just because I like the final sequence when you do get them. But we shall see. It's all dependent on map awareness, really. Which, as I said, I never owned Sonic 3, so my map awareness for Sonic 3 isn't as good as it is in Sonic and Knuckles. At least I know where more of the red rings are, or not red rings, but the big rings are. Let's see if we can't get a shield. I'll take a bubble shield. Or a lightning shield. Yeah, I think I prefer the checkpoint system more, in all honesty. For getting into special stages. Oh, I forgot, I have to loop all the way around in order to do Special Stage 1 again. That's something I could have preferred to have done with a change on. Is what I was trying to say. I feel like this is a little easier in Origins than in this version of the game. Just because I think Origins is actually using a little bit more of a smoother 3D look. I remember at the time, though, thinking that this 3D perspective look was really impressive. Let's see. Am I missing something? I'm missing something here. It's been a while since I played through Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so my memory is a little bit foggy when it comes to a lot of this game. Got continues. Whoa! That hitching is not going to help me at all. Figure out this maze and figure out where the fuck I'm supposed to go. Is it... I'm trying to remember. There we go. Shit. Because we've been in the special stage so long, I'm going like lightning fast. There we go. Okay, we at least got the second Chaos Emerald. Orange is a better flavor anyway. I don't know what the first emerald what color it was, but we're just gonna assume that it wasn't a good one. Maybe it was grape flavored. You know, everybody's favorite flavor. This is kind of the first game, I'd say, that made lives and continues kind of pointless, because you have a save system. I mean, I guess it helps if you want to continue from, like, which act you're on, but you're not losing that much progress if you do game over and run out of continues. Also, I did download or acquire a nice cursed prize if we manage to get through this, and I still have a bunch of energy left. In the form of Sonic Genesis on the Game Boy Advance. The cursed port of Sonic 1. I tried it out, I booted it up just to test if the ROM worked, and oh boy, is it worse than I remember. I don't know if we'll play through that, just because that port is just really, really fucking terrible. But we'll definitely give it a go until I run out of lives. Oh yeah, there was a bunch of Sonic games on the GBA. There was there was the 3 Sonic Advance games that would hook up to, they even hooked up to Sonic Adventure. And you could play like a tiny Chow Garden, which was like a little mini game kind of thing for raising Chow and stuff like that. Well, the way that I kind of see that minigame is that because you can only move on the corners of of the squares, I've just kind of adapted to it and play it like it's a rhythm game almost. Let's actually go up. I'm curious. Okay, it's just a fire shield. I want to stick with the lightning shield for now. Okay, never mind. I want that fire shield. Fucked it immediately. Actually, let's use our buddy Tails here. Forgot how he works in this one. And he's stuck in the wall! Just like in the originals. Alright, let's not go this way then. Clearly this road is cursed. Actually, let's see if we can't get a shield. No, this is just rings. Yeah, there was also Sonic Battle. Sonic Battle was a fighting game on GBA. It was actually pretty good. I think the main complaints is that you have to do a lot of grinding and it takes a long time, and some of the fights are a bit of a slog. But other than that, it had great presentation. It was a fun little story. Wow, I cannot catch a fucking break in this gambling minigame. This reminds me of the one and only time I've ever been to a casino and decided to gamble. This was pretty much the experience. I lost like $20 in the penny slots in like 5 minutes. And my friend was baffled by how fast I lost. He's like, these are designed to hook you and keep you playing. They give you enough so that you just spend all your time and money here. How did you lose money so fast? I'm like, I don't know, I guess I'm just that lucky. Okay, let's see if we can get a little bit above 20 rings. Even if it means just going in here and grabbing these. Yeah, let's just get out of here. This minigame is cursed. Or at least I'm cursed with it. So there's no drop dash with this port because you have the insta-shield, which is probably the more underrated abilities. Like we just saw right there that it blocked like a projectile from hitting me, which is pretty nice. And we also have access to all of the elemental shield's abilities. Like this bubble, giving you like kind of a higher bounce. The double jump on the lightning shield. I do want the fire shield though, because it is a little bit better for this boss fight coming up. Oh shit. They changed this. So now those are actually a threat. I wasn't expecting that. Well, at least you earned a bit of money. Must be that lucky rabbit's foot. This fight's going to be a little bit harder because I don't have the right element. I don't have an elemental shield. It's also a little harder. This whole game's going to be a little bit harder too because I have Tails with me. Tails generally makes things a little bit more difficult. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Nope, they locked this all into a full cutscene. So one of the interesting things about this game is that there are 2 water levels in the Sonic 3 half of this game, but the Sonic and Knuckles portion has no water levels. Well, the problem with using Tails is that Tails will usually hit the enemy, giving them an invulnerability, invulnerability frames, that's the word I was looking for, when you don't want it, and you'll pass through and you'll either die or take damage some other manner. Like, Tails can make things a lot more difficult and screw you up in weird ways, just as a result of him usually causing invulnerability frames or killing an enemy that you meant to bounce on. And in Sonic 2, if you're playing as Sonic and Tails, the ring requirements for getting the Chaos Emeralds is actually a lot higher. So it's a lot more difficult to play as Sonic and Tails in Sonic 2. I don't know if they changed that in Origins. I haven't played as Sonic and Tails in that game, from my recollection. So I learned something interesting about the Sonic OVA recently. Apparently, Discotech Media approached Sega to try and re-release it. But Sega doesn't have the contract. Supposedly, Sega doesn't have the contract for the dub anymore. So they can't prove that they have the license to use the dub, and thus they can't re-release the dub. But the OVA has actually been re-released in Japanese for a Japanese audience, because they have the rights to use that dub. Kind of explained that a little bit poorly because I'm trying to play a game at the same time, but you know. So yet again, Sega losing a contract or having contract issues. Because that was the whole thing with Penders, too. Where Archie either didn't have or didn't get Penders to sign something. Contract, and thus he was able to walk away with the rights to a bunch of like Knuckles' extended family that was added to the comic. See, the other thing the Insta-Shield also does, just speaking of it, is it can extend your hurt box for when you're doing a jumping attack. You're trying to jump into something. So using the Insta-Shield requires a lot more skill, I'd say. But, as I said, conceptually, it's very lame. It's just a little flash of a shield. But in practice, if you know how to use it, Sonic ends up becoming like one of the better characters to play the game with. The trick is that, you know, you need to know how it works and that it can do the things that it does do. It's such a shame with the Sonic OVA because it is such a fun piece of Sonic media. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the real, like, Sonic... It's the first Sonic movie. It's like... It is like... I don't know, maybe it's just because of how I first became aware of it. Like, when I first became aware of it was actually just downloading Sonic media off of, like, LimeWire, I think it was. And I saw a snippet of the Japanese commercial for the OVA, and I was like, oh my god, there's gonna be a Sonic movie! And I was, like, blown away. Didn't even realize that it was already out. But I never saw it in stores or anything like that, otherwise I would have bought the shit out of it. Oh well, looks like we're taking the bottom path. I tried to get fancy and go and get through the top path a lot faster, but it bit me in the butt. See, I can probably make that. Ooh, there we go, that was close. Almost went right into the spikes. Just thinking about the Sonic and Tails mode for the classic Sonic games, and even some of the modern games, weirdly, it was always cool to me that you could have that you could just plug in a second controller and control Tails. Like that's what I think makes the Tails mode, Sonic and Tails mode, broken. Because if you can just get like your little brother to just attack the boss for you, while you just try to avoid on dodging attacks, then you're set, right? Because Tails was always invincible, even if you were playing in the little brother mode. I always really loved that like skidding across the water on this level. And I wish that more games kind of utilized it. At least more classic games. Utilizing that insta-shield there to get hits on Robotnik a little earlier. And Tails. We used everything in our toolkit there. Correct, they do. If Tails grabs a ring, it counts as a ring for Sonic. This is my least favorite zone, I think, in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I don't know it very well, but I just never liked this zone. And it seems to be one of the harder zones to do in terms of the speedrun for the game, too. I lost my double jump because of the invulnerability. Thought I was gonna get crushed for a second there. There we go, now I got my double jump back. And I just lost it. I've never understood those enemies, the fake spiked enemies. It just seems weird, like why wouldn't you just put regular spikes there? Instead you put like these rubber spikes. Like just as conceptually as a badnik, they just seem weird to me. Oh yeah, visually it's good. I just don't like its level layout, and it goes on a bit long. I know for most people, I'd say the more hated zone is Sandopolis Zone. Surprise, surprise, a desert, right? But I don't know, I never found that zone to be too bad. That one, again, it also has the problem of not the best layout in the world and goes on a bit too long. But I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm more nostalgic for the Sonic and Knuckles game than I am for Sonic 3. But that zone never bothered me that much. It'll be a little while before we get to that zone. I don't think I need this top anymore, but I'm still just gonna hold on to it for now. There we go. Let's see, now where is he coming down? There we go, simple as. I always liked playing that little minigame and seeing how many times you could just keep tossing the signpost around. Like, especially if you could play with a buddy. I think the other reason I don't like this zone is because I don't like the boss at the end of Act 2. I don't like the Robotnik fight. I don't care for the gimmick on that one. Well, lost the top, but that's fine. Like, I think the only other thing I could think of that would make this game better is if there was just more level, like, zone transitions. And I think a lot of that was just down to time. They didn't have enough time to do them all. Because I know Flying Battery was originally supposed to be, which is a later zone that was put into Sonic and Knuckles, was originally supposed to be in Sonic 3, and there's even some like prototype data of it left in the cartridge. But Sonic 3, it was also originally supposed to be both just Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Like, there wasn't supposed to be a and Knuckles cartridge. It was all supposed to be one game. And from the story I heard, I just like went right into that Bubbles. When he had his spikes, I guess I tried to use the insta-shield to my advantage there, but it didn't work out right. But yeah, the story I heard for why it got split up was actually pretty interesting. So, there was... at the time, was Sonic 3, to promote Sonic 3, there was a deal with McDonald's to do Sonic 3 toys. And, they wanted to try and... it was taking a little longer than they wanted to get Sonic 3 and Knuckles together. At least, like, the whole package together. But McDonald's was very, very firm with their release date on when this is going to happen and when their toy was going to be released. They weren't going to delay it. So, there became, like, a very rigid release date for Sonic 3 as a result of that. And because they couldn't get they didn't have all the zones done in time, they decided to kind of split what they did have into 2 cartridges. And then I guess they changed around zones to try and better reflect like the difficulty and make a better difficulty kind of curve for both the games as individual games. It wasn't all bad because they were able, with the lock-on technology they made for Sonic and Knuckles, we were able to play as like Knuckles and Sonic 2, and we got unlimited blue spheres if you put the Sonic 1 in the not really unlimited, but like effectively a shitload of levels of blue spheres if you really liked that minigame. If you used the Sonic 1 cartridge on Sonic and Knuckles. And here's the boss. See, I just never liked this "there's no floor" kind of gimmick, and Eggman just kind of... Because I'd always felt like... Let's get my thoughts out straight. It was always so easy to lose just all your rings. And it always felt like Tails would grab you whenever he didn't want him to. I mean, I still managed to get through that pretty quickly, because I got so many hits on him earlier on. And now we get some of the changes between the Genesis and the PC and later versions of this game. Carnival Night, which has a different soundtrack compared to the PC release and all the subsequent releases. Now, I don't know off the top of my head the whole story. I'd have to look it up. But supposedly this is one of the tracks that Michael Jackson and his team worked on. And that's why they don't have Sega doesn't have the rights to use this soundtrack anymore. Which is why they don't use it in the subsequent re-releases. Sega has a lot of very interesting contracts as far as Sonic goes, and their music department. Like anytime they use any of like Green Hill, for example, they have to pay royalties because of the original contract that they made for the team or the group that made the soundtrack for Sonic 1. And they use Green Hill a lot. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever get the full details on the whole story with the Michael Jackson thing and Sonic 3. Not unless somebody manages to speak before they're dead or something like that. But it's still interesting to me nonetheless. I wanted to get that big ring. Alright, let's see. Okay, let's do this properly. Okay. There's some more. Originally, one of the beta for this actually said get blue balls, and then Sega of America was just like, no, you don't want to call it that. Okay, these last ones are going to be the pain in the ass ones, aren't they? Nope, it was just those four. Those four were the ones that, I thought there was more of those ones that are, you have to kind of jump to get. Two more to go. Oh, really 3 more to go. If I can do math, Jesus. We're not quite at the infamous Barrel of Doom. There is a section where you get locked into a room and you have to use one of the barrels to get out. And infamously, a lot of kids didn't understand that you can just to use the barrel, you lift your D-pad up and down in order to get out. This boss is kind of an interesting gimmick. You just have to hit him to make the penis extend out, and then he just kind of hits himself. Other than that, he's pretty much invulnerable. And there we go! I still remember hearing that, like, some of the rumors about the whole Michael Jackson thing in Sonic 3 and why he didn't want his name on it were pretty ridiculous. Like, I know one of them was like, oh, supposedly he never put his name on it because he didn't like the sound of the Genesis chip. And he didn't like how the music that he made for it turned out. And I always found that was just complete bull, because why would Michael Jackson have a game about with his music in it on the Genesis. Like, come on. This is the Michael Jackson Moonwalker game. That was like one of the launch titles for the Genesis too. Weirdly, Sega had a very working relationship with Michael Jackson in the 90s. I didn't know he was a music purist like that. I don't know enough about Michael Jackson to really confidently say a lot of different things about him. I just know that it was an interesting story between him working with Sega on Sonic 3, or at least his team did, if nothing else. But I could see him being a bit of a music purist. Oh, we've already got a bubble shield, we don't need another one. Oh shit. Oh, for sure, he was definitely an eccentric person, but I think a lot of actors and musicians kind of end up being eccentric people because, like, if you're attracted to the arts, it's usually because you're damaged in some way. Like, more times than not, at any rate. Same with, like, comedy. Like, a lot of comedians had, like, really fucked up childhoods. Also, hello, Lar Pippler. I think I said your name correctly. I don't know, my dyslexia is kicking in, so apologies if I fuck up your name. How are you doing today, at any rate? I hope you are well. Damn it. I thought I was jumping there, but I guess I was not. There's always going to be outtakes. As I said, I'm not as familiar with Sonic 3 as I am the End Knuckles portion of the game. I think I didn't play Sonic 3 in general until way later. I think I was like 12, I want to say, by the time I finally even saw a cartridge for Sonic 3. Like, as a small child, I used to think that Sonic and Knuckles was just Sonic 3. Very true. A lot of creative types end up being very eccentric people, and thus, at least, because at least the theory that I have is a lot of creative types end up being eccentric people, and a lot of people who end up with very shall we say, colorful childhoods. Because, like, that's their way of expressing themselves and expressing what they can't normally say or speak, or they have some inherent desire because to try and make people feel better than how they feel. Like, and like that's usually the case with a lot of comedians, for example. Like Robin Williams was like that. Same with Jim Carrey, from what I understand. Oh god, you're playing the Tiger Electronic, like the Tiger Gamecom? I never played the Tiger Gamecom ones or the Tiger Electronic games. Oh yeah, this soundtrack was really good. I think this, if I recall correctly, this was actually the first game that Jun Sonoy worked on, too. I believe he did the special stage theme? I could be wrong. I know people know, but I'm always bad with retaining some of this information. Oh, not the Tiger Gamecom one. Okay. Shit. See if I can still get it by bouncing up here. There we go. Okay, cool. Let's do this. I think this is... That was probably the wrong way to do this. Well, we'll find out soon enough, I guess. Let's see, over here. Yeah, the funny thing too is because I had Sonic and Knuckles more than Sonic 3 as a kid, I'm more familiar with that game's special stages as well. So these ones are a little bit harder for me to do because I'm a lot more blind when it comes to them. Some good timing saved us there. Alright, cool, we did this one fine. That's a good question. I actually never played Sonic.exe. And I'm not too familiar with it. I know about it, and that's kind of about it. And I've seen some ROM hacks that have I've seen some ROM hacks involving it from the Sonic hacking contest. But that's about it. In total, there are 14, but I only intend on doing at least 7. So there should be about 2 more. Ah, shit. There we go. Utilizing that insta-shield. For the Knuckles stage? Probably Carnival Night, I'd say, because at least that's from a game that Knuckles is from, right? Oh, Ice Cap. I love original Ice Cap Zone music. I jumped right into those spikes. They just looked so cuddly, I guess. I know for a lot of people, this is their favorite zone in this game. Just because of the music track. See if we can keep doing the fancy thing. Playing this real fast and loose. Oh shit! I fucked it up. I think once we get into the and Knuckles portion, we'll be able to pick our special stage. So we can just keep attempting special stage 1 until we get it, etc., etc. I'd say I'm trying to think about what my favorite stage in this game would be. At least my favorite track. And I want to say it's probably a Lava Reef. I'm a big fan of the Lava Reef soundtrack. No, I didn't want to grab onto Tails, fuck! Well, Tails lost us our shield. Is there a hidden ring around here? Okay, there isn't. Just wanted to double check. See if we can get... Okay, nope. Oh, please don't make me lose all my rings! Not again! Let's just get out of here. I don't need the continues. Shit. I wanted? Also not what the effect I wanted. Okay, come on. There we go. Well, back into the Infinity Zone. Okay, we've got some rings, so we're nice and safe. Keep fucking up this jump. There we go, just do it normally. Just out of insta-shield range. I will be right back. I just need to use the bathroom. Okay, I have returned. I do want that shield. Over that guy. I just know one of those is gonna have a special ring in it. No, stop. Okay. Land. Thanks for the welcome backs. Tails. Tails, please. There we go. That was a lot harder with Tails. My thought process was, oh, there's probably like a hidden ring in there. Like, there's so many hidden rings in this game that it's hard to know where one is and where one isn't. You're bound to stumble across one at some point. But I guess that's one of the reasons why this game is so cool. Because there's always like another like special rings hidden somewhere where you just wouldn't expect to see or to find. I'm just gonna wait for this platform. But I guess that's part of the replayability for this game. You're kind of encouraged to play through it multiple times to look for all these and to try different routes and to look for all these special stages as you play through the game. There you go, like that one. Alright, back in Special Stage 1. should be just one more round of these. There we go. One more emerald to go. Okay, cool. I got the shield for this boss, so I can kind of cheese him a little. Well, maybe not so much anymore. And now we're at the end of Sonic 3. Oh yeah, if we wanted to gain lives, here's a fun little trick for you. You can just do this, and enemies will infinitely spawn. And you'll get enough score bonus to get an extra life. I don't think I'll need that for this, despite the fact that I'm not playing the best in the world. But I can generally get through most 2D Sonic games without having to use too many extra continues or anything like that. This is another track that is different in the subsequent re-releases of this game, and I think the original version is way better. Shit. Oh, there is a boss to fight with 0 rings. If I lose to him once, I'm just hosed and have to deal with 0 rings, and it's a bit more of a gauntlet. It's overall, I'd say it's an easier fight than the Whoa, that was weird. Some hitching there. Overall, it's an easier fight than the Death Egg robot, but it can still be quite the gauntlet. You go into the fight with whatever rings you had from the level, but if you die once, then there's just no rings to pick up. I guess Sega just had a problem with kids. And didn't want them finishing their game. No, go Tails. I'm also not the greatest at the final boss fight if we get all the emeralds. But we shall see. That should only take like a couple of attempts for me to do. I feel like we just looped back on him ourselves, but I think I'm wrong on that. This feels like we did. Shit. Well, at least I got some rings, so... You need 50 rings to use the emeralds. Ah, right, I have to jump out there. Fun fact, you can actually debug mode and hit Robotnik for as many times as you want in that sequence, that little sequence where I hit him. If you hit him 255 times, he just explodes as a flicky. Just like one of the little animals. Oh yeah, one of my friends gifted me, because he forgot my birthday, he actually gifted me Pragmata. And I wanted to ask you, Eris, while you're here, did you ever finish that game? I feel like you couldn't for whatever reason. I've been debating whether or not I want to do that on stream or not, or if I just want to play it offline. Because it's been a bit since I played a game offline for myself. It feels like, anyway. Outside of like an online game, anyway. Oh, that's where I was supposed to go. Oh no! You got spoiled? That's... I hate that! I hate when then shit like that happens. I've surprisingly managed to avoid all the spoilers for that game. So I might just play through it on my own. Unless people want me to stream it, then I'll stream it. I might stream it anyway. I don't know, it just depends. Depends on my mood. I usually don't like... I don't know, I always feel really uncomfortable and really self-conscious about playing games that I haven't played before on stream. Because I want to try and absorb as much as I can of that game. And I feel like I can't fully do that while I'm on stream because I'm trying to because I'm focusing so much on talking and filling dead air. Oh yeah, War Dogs is a great game for me to play on my own. I look forward to that game coming out because I had a lot of fun playing it. I'm gonna have to do this. Oh no, I'm gonna drown. Yep, there we go. Fuck. That's true. There is the reaction moments and getting your more genuine reaction. So maybe I will stream it after all. Okay, this is where I am. This is another one of those, like, really long or, like, really big levels. As it kind of should be, because it is the final level for Sonic and Sonic 3, sorry. Just think, if I hadn't fucked up that first special stage, we'd have Supersonic by now. Oh well. I don't know if there are any big rings in this stage. I don't recall ever getting a big ring in this stage. Hello, Dash01. How are you today? I hope you are well. Can I not Tails my way up there? There we go. We are listening to the original. We are playing the fan remaster of Sonic 3 called, and Knuckles, called Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited. It's a... So far, it uses the original ROM, so it has all of the old music, like the original music, and I think the original music is a lot better than all the subsequent re-released music that they've done. Like the PC version had this, even back in the day, like the original PC version, I should say. And this little sequence is fun. I'm doing alright. I'm glad to hear that you're doing great. Yeah, unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. My ass, you don't chuckle. This chuckle fuck. I like how the timer pauses during this whole sequence too. There we go. They didn't make me fight Big Arm here. Big Arm was the original version of the Sonic 3 fight. Oh no, they are gonna make me fight Big Arm. Here he is! No, I don't want to grab onto Tails. Damn, Tails is putting in work on this fight. Probably could have sent Tails up there to deal some damage. Oh no! Well, there goes my only ring. Now I gotta be a little bit more careful. Well, or I could die. Shit. Okay. Let's get a little bit more rings. Now I have to do that whole gauntlet all over again. Damn it, Tails. There we go. Unfortunately, I only got one ring for this, so I have to be a little bit more careful. But maybe we can utilize Tails a little bit more in the big arm fight. In the original version of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, they actually cut out the big arm fight for just that first phase, and then you move into Knuckles. I do some good ring juggling here. There we go, okay. Now we move on to big arm. Damn it. Went right into his hands. Grab that ring, there we go. There we go. There's another hit. Get off. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Okay, I got my ring. We're all fine here. I wonder if I could actually use Tails to just jump off of Tails and hit him. You're Sonic's #1 fan. That's a very bold claim. That's all I'll say. I will not say if I'm a better fan or a bigger fan or anything like that. Because I'm just a guy who listens to a lot of people who really who edit for Sonic Retro and things like that. And I just pick up a lot of fun facts along the way. Shit. I lost that ring. Okay, so the whole arm is actually dangerous. We know this now. I just like to say that I'm a Sonic dork. Still only one ring again, but I think we can manage to make it work. every single Sonic game, even something as weird and obscure as like the Sonic popcorn maker, the Japanese only popcorn making machine where you just basically just played a mini game to get while your popcorn was being made. Okay, what about Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car? The, like, children's ride kind of mini game. I'm pulling out all of the weird titles right away off the top of my head. Or what was it? Well, I cannot remember the translated title for it, but it was the shmup. It was like, I can't remember the name of it. There were a lot of very strange Sonic games. Seems like I can only really get them on the left and right. Oh, Sonic the Fighters isn't too obscure, I think, because it had an Xbox re-release. And it was released on the Gems collection. Well, there goes that ring. I think I'm gonna have to redo this fight again. That was close. I wanted to do a bold move, but I was trying to get Tails to do it. Oh, that's got me killed. Yep. Okay. If I can get through that fight with more than, like, one ring, I might be able to do it. I know in the original version, I believe you had to do it with 0 rings. At least the original Sonic 3. See, I'm an old fart, so I've been playing this series since it came out. Like, I started with... I want to say it was... I actually might have started with Sonic 2 as, like, a... well, 2-year-old at the time. Okay, there we go. I need to keep a better eye on that ball that's going around Eggman in this phase. Alright, now we got 4 rings. Now we're doing a little better. We might be able to keep some rings during an accidental grabbing. Yeah, the Genesis was also like one of the, like, a lot of the older consoles, like the cartridge-based consoles, seem to last a lot longer than some of the newer ones. this phase, I can't really do anything, so just try to avoid. And of course, this time we no-hit him. Oh, that's cool. They had it hooked up in the office. And my Genesis is also still working. I have two Genesises. I have a Model 1 and I have a Model 2. The Model 1 I don't have the cords for, but the Model 2 I do. And that's mainly the way I play Genesis games these days. I think we actually have to do one of the Sonic & Knuckles stages in order to proceed this. Oh, this is not the first one. See. Try and do some fancy stuff here. Well, I got what I needed out of that. See if I can't do this, and then go right. Get these. Getting a lot of continues. I don't know how I avoided all of that. Shit. Oh shit! There we go. Yeah, I know how that is, Dash. I grew up pretty poor too, so I didn't get like Sonic and Knuckles when it came out. I got it like I got a used copy of it. Actually, the birthday that I got my copy of Sonic 3 and Knuckles was also was a strange year because I also got, what was it? Mario was missing on the Super Nintendo. I was fortunate enough that I had a Super Nintendo from my dad because my parents were split up. And my stepbrother at the time had a Genesis, so my mom got me a game for the Genesis. Okay, let's see if we can't do this one. just secure our good ending here. And then I won't touch any of the special stages again for Eris. I'm assuming I can avoid it. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Hopefully I didn't screw myself over there. I think I did. Where are those last four? Oh! Going places I don't want to go. There we go. And done. All Chaos Emeralds achieved. Sonic can go to Hidden Palace Zone. Wow! As I said, I don't plan on I don't think I'll end up getting all the Super Emeralds and getting Hypersonic. But for Eris' sake, I will try to avoid the special stages. Because I know a lot of people actually get pretty motion sick from doing those special stages. I think it's because you do like such harsh turns so quickly. Hypersonic can basically jump a little higher, moves like accelerates a little quicker. He's a rainbow color, and that's pretty much it. There's not too much difference. And plus this way we actually get to hear a lot more of the music. And I'd say in a more typical playthrough of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, people usually have all the emeralds by now and all you're hearing is the invulnerability theme over and over again. Speaking of which... we are now in the Knuckles portion, so this is a little bit more familiar to me. Just because I played this more as a kid. It took a long time for me to actually beat this game, too. Like, I think it wasn't until I was a teenager that I beat it. Just showing that off, not going in. Wait for the chicken to blow. There's a fucking sentence that's fun out of context. Oh yeah, just smooth right underneath it. And there's another one. go. Mistimed that. Very much so. Oh yeah, this stage was effectively the first stage for Sonic and Knuckles, so they wanted to give you plenty of opportunities to accidentally run into a special stage again. I honestly don't know too much about Fortnite, to be honest, Josh, though. Actually, let's see if we can't do this. Get Tails. Make our way up here, because I know there is something... Yeah, there's little prizes up here. I believe it's... No, it's here. There we go. Flying Battery is a little bit of a difficulty jump compared to Mushroom Hill, just because it wasn't originally supposed to be Zone 2. But it's not too bad. Those sections where you have to do some precarious platforming are the major, like, difficulty spikes, I'd say. At least for me. And from what I remember from childhood. This is another track I really like, too. I like Flying Battery Zone's music track a lot. See if I can't do this. Well, that's kind of the internet in general, Dash. I don't know. Like, the internet has long since been about a lot of edgy humor and being kind of offensive for the sake of being offensive. Like, that was, at least when I was younger, that's just how the internet was, and you just had to kind of grow a thicker skin about it. At least when I was younger. Nowadays, the internet seems to be a lot more... The internet is a lot angrier and a lot more... social... like, more... What's the best word to describe it? A lot more socially sensitive, I'd say. As I said, when I was younger, it was just like, let's just, like, the day after a tragedy happened, people would be making jokes about it, kind of thing. Like, not even good jokes, like, terrible, like, puns. Oh yeah, and here, you can push these spikes, get into a special zone. Yeah, politically correct. That's the word I was looking for. It's a very strange thing to have gone through. Just in general. Seeing the internet go from, like, oh hey, let's make each other watch, like, horrible videos on the internet, or, like, see rude pictures on the internet, like Goatsy and Two Girls, One Cup, for example. Don't look those up. To being a lot more sensitive and saying and making sure that you can't even say, like, I don't know, anything rude, anything really politically incorrect, I should say. It's definitely an odd change, though. I can't say it's for the better or for the worse. Like, I'd say I feel it's just different. I'd say the internet feels a lot more angry than it did when I was younger, than in, like, the 2000s. Because I wonder if that's just because, like, in the 2000s, it was more like a... It was like a... That was the joke, was... Ha ha, you got mad on the internet, you idiot. Whereas now it seems like people are just angry on the internet just normally. Like, that's not like an act of shame anymore. To be angry on the internet. Like, nobody took the internet seriously, and anything that happened on the internet seriously when I was younger, and in the 2000s. Like, the internet was just, like, its own separate thing and its own separate reality, whereas now I'd say it feels like people take it a lot more as just part of reality. There we go, I was waiting for that. I want to take this upper pathway because it's different. Oh, Jesus. There goes my shield. Yeah, thinking about it too, it's funny how just unrestricted old internet used to be. Like, there was no moderating old video game chats, for example. There was no moderating even like Uno, for example. Uno on Xbox Live was pretty famous for just, oh, you go to play, let's play a game of Uno, this child-friendly game. And, like, every time you try and get into a match of Uno, there's just a guy jerking off. Maybe just because nobody bothered to moderate the webcams feature that that game had. I never had Xbox Live Gold, so I never had to experience that firsthand. I've just heard many stories about it from people who did have Xbox Live Gold. Let's see if they fixed this bug. They did. Because if you do that in the original and you just stand there, it'll just go on infinitely. I still remember, like, back with, even just, Dark Souls, like, people would message people directly, like, message invaders directly and, like, call them pieces of shit or the N-word or something like that. And I mean, of course, that only fuels them, because that was just how the internet trolls worked back then. And I mean, it's still, to an extent, how internet trolls work to this day. But, I don't know, it seems like trolls get the reaction they want a lot easier these days, because people are a lot less thick-skinned when it comes to the internet. Oh, okay. No, I want to go up there. It just keeps killing all my momentum. Okay, what if I... There we go. See, I like this track. And this is because of all the pyramids. I don't mind this sand stage as much. Like, I'm generally not a fan of desert levels, but this is one of the few exceptions to the rule for me. I've only played one of the Five Nights at Freddy's games because I was just curious about it. I played the second one, actually, when it came out. Back when I used to stream on Twitch. One of my friends sent it to me because he wanted me to try and play it. And I think just making this a little bit more ancient Egypt is what makes it stand out and be a lot more interesting just as a desert level. Because if you're just going to do desert level, I'm completely uninterested. See if we can't get Tails to take me up there. Right, it's you just hold up. There we go. I keep wanting to keep pressing jump to get Tails to get me to go further up. Another special stage ring that we're avoiding. Hate these scorpions. Yeah, that series really did an interesting number on YouTube. Like, I feel like it started a lot of people's careers just as a result of that. Of just reaction baiting, and started up that whole trend. I have some respect for the original Five Nights at Freddy's games, just because they managed to get a lot of reaction with very little gameplay, but every sequel after that was just kind of felt, I don't know, it felt a little bit navel-gazy, in my opinion. no, here we go. The hardest boss in the franchise. He's completely invincible. There's no way to beat him. And he's dead. Roblox is an interesting thing to me because I've never played it, but I hear a lot about games that are made in it. And it's like one of those like huge games that I can only assume is just effectively an effective toy box for a lot of people to play with game mechanics and to try and make like little games themselves. Do this. And now we've released the ghosts. And thus is the gimmick for this stage. These ghosts used to scare the shit out of me when the stage gets really dark. Oh crap, now I'm looping. There we go. You gotta keep the lights on in order to keep the ghosts away. And the ghosts get more aggressive as the lights get darker. And they'll actually start attacking you. Ugh. Fucking right back into the pit. Just thinking about games that usually got made in like game platforms makes me kind of reminiscent on the old Little Big Planet games. Like there was some pretty interesting stuff made in those. Like I remember some people making like full calculators and things like that. And that was before even like Minecraft. Okay, this shouldn't squish me. I think it stops just before. There we go. The good news too is with this game is we're basically done with water levels. Well, we are done with water levels. There isn't a drop of water left in this game. Yeah, I remember one of my buddies had a Little Big Planet on PS3, the first one. And we used to play a bunch of that and slap each other around and stuff like that. And play some of the online stuff. We mainly just played the pre-made stuff. At least together. But it was surprising how much push there was for Little Big Planet in its day from Sony. Like, they really tried to make Sackboy like the next big mascot. And I don't feel like he ever really got as big as they wanted him to. And shit, he's getting nose now. There we go, get rid of them. Nope! Not today, Ring. I like how, like, there's a lot of wind down here or something, because you can see Robotnik's mustache just blowing like crazy in the breeze. Here we go. I really like this track. We're actually coming up to the end on Sonic 3 now. There's only a couple more stages to go. This is probably the one stage where you really, really want the fire shield at all times, just because of how much lava there is and how much of the fire element there is. Hey, there's a fire shield now. I don't use the fire shield's ability very much, the like dash attack that it does. Just because I find it so dangerous. It's so easy to just use it and mash yourself into an enemy. I will be right back. I just need to use the bathroom again. Okay. I have returned. Uh, it's not intentionally, I'm not intentionally skipping checkpoints or anything. It's just something that kind of keeps happening, and I lost my shield immediately. Whoops. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I've played as I said, I've played this section of the game a lot more, so I'm more familiar with it. To the point where I don't need the checkpoints as much. Apparently I can't make this jump. I'll take a shield. Let's do this. Hey, there's a fire shield. I like how you can see the death egg like in the background of the stage right there. And it gets closer and closer as the stage kind of progresses. Like, this is where a lot more of the narrative of Sonic 3 and Knuckles kind of kicks into high gear. Now, do I go left? No. Oddly enough, I don't really play Sonic 3 and Knuckles either half of the game or together very often. It's because I find the game is a little bit too long for a normal just sit down and play kind of session. Sonic 2 is generally my more go-to Sonic game. Now I'm just juggling rings. Shit. Okay. We are currently at the 2-hour mark, 2-hour 5 mark. So, should be, I don't know, another 30 minutes before I've beaten this game. And then we go on to our cursed playthrough. The cursed copy of Sonic 1. Sonic 1 Genesis. I like how you have like this is pretty much the prototype for the final gauntlet in this game. I know back in my 20s, I could do a lot longer live streams. Like, I used to do 12-hour live streams fairly regularly, and the occasional 24-hour. But that was about, I think 26 hours was probably, 26 or 28 hours was the longest stream I ever did back then. But at this point, that's like ancient history. Now I'm in my 30s and old. Let's actually take the upper pathway. Okay, well, it just seems to loop back in on itself. Yeah, this half of Lava Reef I don't like as much as at least this Act 2's soundtrack I don't like as much as the first half's. But it's still neat seeing the zone go from just like lava underground zone to like the crystals. It has that feel of like, oh yeah, this is where the Chaos Emeralds were made, but we know now in kind of retrospect that as far as Sonic lore goes that this is not where they were made. Especially with Sonic Frontiers. Okay, come on. Come on, me. There we go. Hold on a sec. I gotta check my Discord. Okay, sorry about that. Ooh, close to that fire. Ah, shit. I meant to just show that off, and I didn't mean to grab it. Well, I can just, intentionally lose it. There we go. Actually, I think that was the first stage for Sonic and Knuckles. Let's see, I'm trying to think of the levels that are next. They started off in Sonic 3, and all the ones that I can choose to go to from this point on are from Sonic and Knuckles. The ones that I did to get the 7 Chaos Emeralds are from Sonic 3. All the ones that I can do now are from Sonic and Knuckles. If that makes any sense. They both shared the same style of special stage, though. And look at that, we're close to the Death Egg, the Crash Death Egg now. And then Boulder. Yeah, they started in Sonic 3. And then they just made a whole other batch for Sonic 3 for Sonic and Knuckles. Oh, I thought I was dead there. There we go, I just wanted this fire shield. And now I can just ride the platform down. It's pretty much only one more zone after this. Or two, actually, because there's the Death Egg Zone. And this is one of the more tedious boss fights. It's one of those, just wait for the boss to destroy themselves while you deal with a gauntlet kind of scenarios. And because I have the fire shield, I can just stand in lava. So it's not too particularly difficult. There we go. And now for the longest stage in this game. Oh my god. Hidden Palace Zone is so long. And you can already see the Death Egg is being lifted up. No, I didn't want to grab onto Tails, I wanted to hit the Knuckles. Okay, that's embarrassing. Oh shit, I did it again. I am fucking this up. Alright. This is one of the easier fights in this game, and I'm just getting destroyed. What the fuck happened there? Did I land, like, directly in front of him? Like, was I just, like, a millimeter in front of his face and then him jumping just hurt me? Here we go. I like the mural in the background, though. Okay, why didn't that hurt him? There we go. Fuck. Okay. As you can see, we only have one Super Emerald. And thus Knuckles figures it out that Eggman is not his friend. Sky Sanctuary is thankfully another one-act zone. So it doesn't go on too long or anything. But this section, as I said, this is the part of the game where it gets a lot more narrative focus for a platformer anyway of this time. Oh yeah, we can also see, I'll show this off too. If you wait here a while, Knuckles will be like, go on without me kind of situation. He just kind of like brushes his arm away to tell you to keep going. Assuming he does it because yeah, I think he won't do it because I rushed on ahead already. Alright. I guess I'm not showing that off. Almost jumped right into the spikes. Hello, Lester the Unlikely. How are you today? I hope you are well. It's been an interesting day. I'll say that. And this is Sega already banking on nostalgia from previous games. Yeah, it was always kind of interesting. Like, Knuckles as a character has always been kind of interesting. Like, I've liked his characterization. For the most part, they make him a bit too gullible at times. But for the most part, like, he was always a really cool character to me. I think the 3D games make him a bit too gullible, like he gets tricked in by Eggman again in Sonic Adventure, which just seemed a little bit redundant. But I don't know. This isn't quite Metal Sonic. This is like one of those like technically kind of things. This is Mecha Sonic. Just a slightly different robot. I don't know if Sonic fans are weird. It's a different design to the normal Metal Sonic that we're just kind of used to from CD. Or the Silver Sonic from Sonic 2. Sonic fans, I don't believe his canonical name is Mecha Sonic. That's just the name that Sonic fans have given him. Come to think of it, I don't know what his canonical name really is. I think he's just a Metal Sonic that just gets destroyed at the end of this game. Alright, this is actually the end of the Knuckles campaign. Oh shit. Just juggle that ring. There is another phase for this fight when you're in the Knuckles campaign, because you kind of see We don't actually fully destroy Mecha Sonic here. He just kind of goes down with this chunk of Sky Sanctuary, and we bugger off to the Death Egg. Sometime I should do a Knuckles playthrough of this game, because it's fun to point out some of the differences. And now Death Egg actually gets a full zone attached to it, unlike in Sonic 2. Okay, come on, stop grabbing onto tails and let's move on. Come to think of it, I don't think there's any big ring, like warp rings, on the Death Egg. At least I don't recall of any. See, is this the right special stage zone? No, this is the gambling one again. Fuck. You can usually tell by the sparkles. If it's white, it's like one of the better special stages. If it's red, I think it's that one. You know, it's funny because you assume that Eggman made this specifically for him to traverse around because this is his Death Egg, right? And his base. Could you imagine his fat ass tumbling around through like that thing that we were just in, or through these zero gravity sections? Oh shit. Didn't quite go fast enough. Because we don't have a lightning shield, we are not immune to that floor. One of the few instances that a stage hazard is actually lightning based, and the lightning shield gets to shine a little bit more than usual. Well, you know he can fucking run fast from Sonic 2. And even in this game, actually, come to think of it, there's a section where you chase Eggman and he runs really fucking fast. And this is one of the more hated zones for the speedrun, or the bosses in the speedrun. Simply known as Big Eye. Because of, well, obvious reasons, I guess. Okay, let's just get Tails to land. Then go for it. Juggle that ring. Then surprise! He comes out! Ring. There we go. No more Big Eye. Tails dying in the background. I don't like these anti-gravity gimmicks in games. I don't like having to play on the ceiling, anything like that. It's one of those platformer gimmicks I never really liked. I don't know of many people who really do like that. I think the only thing worse is like when it changes, like reverses your controls for whatever reason. Oh, you know what does really suck? Any gimmick that that turns out the lights. Like where you just can't see. I fucking hate darkness gimmicks the most in like platformers. Like more than like ice physics. Okay, let's just do this. That was an Eggman monitor. I almost went right for it. Okay, why aren't you grabbing this? There we go. I'm a little bit nervous about the final boss because I haven't been playing the best that I could be. But I have plenty of chances to effectively take it out. Because it's the final gauntlet I'm more worried about than the actual final fight. But what did I get hit by there? Okay, that I know where I got hit by. Oh, I had to reverse the gravity first. And I panicked there. Okay, got rings, so we're good. No, as soon as if you have all the standard emeralds and you go into, the and Knuckles portion, you lose all your ability to go supersonic and because you effectively lose the Chaos Emeralds. You can't go super again until you, get all the Hyper Emeralds. If I'd gotten all of the Chaos Emeralds while in Sonic 3, I'd be able to go super again. I'd be able to go super. But it's kind of a pain in the ass kind of gimmick. I guess they just didn't want you to cheese all of Sonic 3 by just going supersonic throughout most of it. They wanted you to like listen to some of the music and enjoy the stage a little bit more. Or have to play this stage a bit more. So what am I doing? I can just walk across this. Alright. We got this boss. I am not good at fighting this boss. So this one's going to be more or less a crapshoot. Ah, shit. As long as I can keep juggling rings, I'll be fine, though. Because you just have to get it so that the enemies that he poops out here are landing on the boss spikes first. Alright. Now how can a man that fucking fat run so fast? This is where the gauntlet begins. If I lose here, I don't get any rings for the duration of the game until the final fight. The supersonic fight. Fortunately, I can just do this. And beat this first phase. Because for whatever reason, this doesn't crush and kill you. And this phase is the hard phase. Especially with Tails. Especially with Tails. Oh, fuck. Alright, well, time to try again. This is why usually when I play through this casually, I will typically just play as Sonic alone. So the reason this is a little bit more on the difficult side is because what you have to do is hit him on the bop him on the nose and then hit the emerald. But because Tails is there, and Tails is always lagging a little bit behind you, he can cause invulnerability frames when you don't want them to. He can hit the nose, he can hit the emerald when you don't want him to. He just makes things the fight a lot more difficult. Oh hey, we actually got 2 fingers at once that time. And I forgot about the fire. Okay. I'm gonna try and really focus up for this. See if I can't do this a little bit quicker too. Break the little fingies. It'd be nice if I could just ditch Tails for this section. Ugh. I'm gonna try and not worry about what Tails is doing and just see if I can't just do it on my own and see what happens. Because Tails should die shortly afterwards anyway, right? At least that's my line of thinking. That. Avoid this. Avoid the boogers. There we go, use the tails to my advantage. Oh, Jesus, that was close. There we go, and it's not quite over yet. Because this section is also very difficult. Because you can very easily just bounce off of him and fall to your doom. There we go. Now for the supersonic section. This must have been so cool for anybody back in the day who discovered this. Okay, that's all the time that we can get. So now we just need to get these to hit him. Well, avoiding these little... There we go. You're effectively on a time crunch from this point on. Fuck. Fuck. There we go. Another hit. I don't know why they made it so that you have to use the missiles to hit them instead of just your own body. There we go. Now, final phase. This we can actually get some rings back. And now it's just a matter of hitting them. But familiar looking boss? It's the Death Egg robot again. From Sonic 2. There we go. Get that ring. Am I not hitting him? I'm not quite hitting him. There we go. There we are. Keep getting hit by the random chaff here. Gotta be careful not to run out of rings. Oh, it was close. 15. There we go. Achievement complete, long play. I guess that's for beating the game in one sitting. And that's Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This collection was actually, this remaster was actually pretty good. I like the widescreen support that it released. I like that it restored all the original music. I know Sega can't really use the original music either, but, you know, I think the Origins collection did the best that it could do. With the Master Emerald back, Angel Island goes right back into the sky. The only other thing I'd say that the Origins collection has over this version is the animated cutscenes at the end of each game. Funnily enough, Sonic game like a lot of later Genesis releases are actually more expensive in the Japanese market than in the American market. I mean, Nintendo is always more expensive in the North American market than the Japanese market. But like, you can get like, for example, a Saturn in the Japanese market. I use Saturn pretty easily, but good luck trying to get a North American one. Just because it's a lot more rare here. But Genesis games, they were popular enough to have like a following, but it doesn't get the Nintendo tax over here. I think a lot of later Genesis releases were a little bit more rare in Japan, whereas the Genesis kind of lingered on a bit longer in North America, thanks to the support that Sega seemed to be having for it, or committed to it with the 32X and the Sega CD add-on and things like that. Oh, apparently the 32X was a Sega of America plan. And the Japanese didn't want to actually make it or support it. But they managed to convince the Japanese side to do it. There was a lot of weirdness that happened with Sega back in the day, which led to it eventually bowing out of the console market. Yeah! Oh hey, this is teasing the Knuckles playthrough. Alright, with that we are going to switch games, because I still have a bit of energy left. So 1 second. Time for our cursed feature. Okay. See if I can't just capture this right away, or if it's gonna be a pain in the butt. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. There we go, do that. Alright. This is on the GBA, and it is fucking terrible. It's so bad that Sonic fans actually went out of their way to fix the port to prove that it could be done right. They made like their own port just out of curiosity. But we'll see like right away that the GBA sound chip is not doing this game any favors. It's actually a little on the quieter side. Let me see if I can't fix that. Oof. Maybe I don't want to turn up the music. Alright. Let's not spoil it. So the differences between original mode and anniversary mode is original mode is how the game originally was, and anniversary mode adds a spin dash. And this has a save file. Oh. Look at the screen crunch on this version, too. Like, you have such little screen to work with. Oh, and the physics feels so bad. Oh. Like, look at all that momentum that he carries for him with him at like random points. Oh. And the slowdown. Oh god. This is actually giving me a headache. We might only get through Green Hill Zone before I call it quits. Because holy shit. This is starting to make me nauseous because of the screen crunch, the physics, the frame pacing. It's all bad. Holy shit, look how fast he went! He fell! Dropped like a fucking stone. Ugh. This version is so bad! So, instead of just cringing horribly at this, I'm going to try to explain a little bit of why this is so bad. So this is using the Sonic Rush engine, from what I understand. Sonic Rush was a Game Boy, it was a DS game, actually. So you have a later gen engine trying to run on the Game Boy Advance, and then it was also just like poorly put together. So they had they had a time, from what I understand, they had a time crunch because this was another anniversary title. I think this was 15th anniversary. This came out alongside like Sonic 06, if I recall correctly. Oof. Okay, come on. The Game Boy deserved a much better port of this. And because of the screen crunch, this guy is even easier. Oh god. Easier is relative because of the fucking physics. Holy fuck. Like, I don't know how they picked this sound font, too. The fire isn't even doing anything! I was actively in that fire and it was doing nothing. Oh my god, he's just whipping around too. I'm not doing any of that slowdown. And that pausing. Like, look how slow this is going! Ugh! I know it's Marble Zone, but like, fuck! I have to be so fucking careful because the physics are so unreliable and so awful. For a series that was just like known for its physics, I can only assume the physics were actually tied to frame rate, and that's one of the reasons why this is so all over the place. I'm curious now how many, like, I believe the Genesis had something like 8 voice channels to work with? Did the Game Boy really have that little voice channels to work with? Like, if this... Like, the Game Boy was stronger than the Genesis, right? Like, you had much better ports of, like, SNES titles. The SNES was stronger than the Genesis in most regards, as far as power goes. I think the Genesis had a better CPU than the SNES, and that's about it. Other than that, better audio chip, better... better RAM, better like everything else. Like, I know the GBA was actually capable of better than this, because I played, like, I had a bunch of the SNES ports that were, those were pretty decent. The sound chip was, like, didn't do them any favors. Like, I think the SNES ports, the SNES versions are usually better in most cases. Just because, as I said, the GBA sound card wasn't the greatest, especially compared to, like, the SNES, because the SNES had a pretty impressive sound chip in its day. God, like, look how fast that goes! Like, those fire effects. Okay, the GBA had 6 audio channels. Okay, so it did have less to work with, because I believe the Genesis had 8. Well, 7 effective ones and then, like, a phantom one. It was weird. Like, I can't stop in time. It just feels so heavy. And the slowdown. Like, the physics have to be due to have to be tied to the frame rate, right? Oh, it was 10. So, then I'm thinking, it had... I know one of them, they had one of the audio channels was actually, like, a weird phantom one that could be used to interrupt, like, another sound channel. It was very strange, from what I understand. The real question, though, is why am I still playing this port? Is it because I have too much energy? Is it because I am morbidly curious to see how much further this goes? It's definitely not that, because I've beaten this port as a kid. This is one of the few games I got this game around the time when I was like, I'm going to keep all the boxes for my for all my games from now on. So this is actually one of the few games I actually have the box for still. I have the box for this, and I have the box for Tactics. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be tough. This can either be really quick or really slow. Like, look how fast that thing came out of the wall. That's supposed to be a lot slower. There we go. Jesus. Then it, like, speeds up to try and catch up. Ugh, it's so bad. Fuck. Oh, I'm gonna get squished. That is one thing I will give this one tiny bit of credit I will give this port. The music doesn't restart when you die. It's the only compliment I can really give this port. All right, I gotta stop playing. This is starting to make me nauseous. So, just kill the whole emulator, kill everything, get it out of here. I will say, thank you for joining me on this ride. I hope you all had fun and enjoyed me visiting Sonic 3 Air for the first time and seeing how that that version is made by fans, and how bad the ports can be when done by Sega. So until next time, I will say so long, take care, and